really the translation of the continuation of knowledge that had reached a new height in Islamic civilization. And when we go back to Andalusia, especially, and we see the transfer of knowledge in Europe, where the great scholars of Europe and other parts of the world would come to Toledo and Cordoba and Seville and Valencia and Granada, and they would come and they would learn and they would sit at the feet of great scholars, and not only Muslim scholars. It was the golden age of Jewish literature. Ibn Ma'mun, Maimonides, lived under Islamic rule during the golden age of Islam. Christians also were not forced into Islam and could actually study and take it back to their people. And so this was the Renaissance, and when you trace the different facets of knowledge coming up, you trace where math came up, you trace where the literature, where astronomy, where medicine, and you will see in the same area where it rose up amongst the European scholars, that was where the Muslims were. And so it wasn't a rebirth of knowledge, it was translation. It was a translation period. And if you go into the history books, you'll find that the kings and queens in Europe were spending most of their time burning witches. Thousands of women were burnt at the stake because they were a threat to the society. They were a threat to Rome. The reality was, it was the Muslims during that period. And so they found the people counting in abacus and Roman numbers, and they said, no, 0, this is an ancient construct. In ancient Egypt, you find in the temple of Saqqara, you will find the use of 0. And you'll find this 2300 BC. In ancient India, the Hindus were also using 0. And so 0, the concept, was taken by the Muslims. 0 is sifar, it is an Arabic word. And so the modern day mathematical system came directly out of Muslim achievements. Algebra from Jebba, calculus, trigonometry. You will continue to go on through chemistry, from alchemy, alchemia, an Arabic word and concepts from the Muslims. The scientific method, the historical method. And you will continue to go on through most of what is now the sciences in academia, and you will find at the root of these sciences during the golden age of Islam, there are Muslims with a tawhidic understanding who put it together in a modern form. And so we can say, looking at these companions who took their message directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the last messenger Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, al-hikmah dalat al-mu'min, that this wisdom is lost property of a believer, take it from everywhere. Do it in submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so really this is in response to the command of the Prophet, peace be upon him. It is a response to the message that came through him. So the Renaissance period is really a blessing that came through the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. And it was not for his message, there would be no Renaissance period. There would be no modern chemistry, be no modern math. There would be no modern medicine. There would be no universities as we have them, no observatories. All of this came through this man who was living in the desert, who did not have this knowledge, did not have the science, but yet the creator of the heavens and the earth opened up on him, opened up and streamed through him to humanity an amount of knowledge which has given us the ability to do things that people could never dream of doing in the past. This is in response to the Prophet, peace be upon him, Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar, fasalli li rabbika wanha. We have given you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, an abundance. So pray to your Lord and sacrifice. Inna shaniyaka huwa al-abtar. Who is cut off? Let's go back and look at the miracle of this. Al-As, who was a big man, a well-known person in Mecca. Who is this little man talking about one God? He is Al-As. He has sons. But who of us know this name Al-As? Nobody knows this name. The only way that we would know his name is from his son, Sayyidina Amr ibn Al-As, radiallahu anh, or his grandson, Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, radiallahu anhu. That's the only way we know al-As's name. So who is cut off? He is the one who is cut off. In the Shaniyaka, huwa al-abtar. Look at the miracle of this verse. But now the man that you made fun of, he has no future. His name will not be remembered in the tents of the Arabs. When they took a recent census of the names on earth, they found that the most common name on earth is Muhammad. It is the most common name on earth, alayhi afdal salatu wa taslim. Muslims name themselves Muhammad. Which other society names themselves after one man? The Christians don't name themselves after Jesus. Well, some of the Spanish say Jesus. But they don't name themselves, the Jews don't name themselves that much after Moses. How many people are named Julius or Caesar? Even Alexander, it's limited. But the Muslims, they will say Muhammad, Muhammad. I know one brother from the Sudan, Muhammadain. So he's two Muhammads. And another brother, his name is Muhammad, Muhammad, Muhammad. 3 in his name. And so, kathratul dhikr asma'i. So much, his name is remembered now, all over the face of the planet Earth. In every society you go to, you will find somebody named Muhammad. Everywhere on earth. So who is the one who was cut off? It is not the Prophet ﷺ, it is Al-As. Because nobody knows him or even cares about him. That is the miracle in these 10 words. Just 10. The smallest chapter in the Quran. It is an abundance which is continuing and continuing. And now they're seeing the Big Bang Theory is in the Quran. They are seeing now in physics, quantum physics. They are seeing the Quran is speaking to even problems, social problems, economic problems, political problems. It has the answer for a wide spectrum of the problems that humanity is facing on this earth. And so we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessing of being Muslim. That we have part of this inheritance of Al-Kawthar. And in these dark days that we are living in, we need the greater picture. Look to the greater picture. When they try to put you down, remember who you represent. When they try to say negative things about you, remember where we are coming from and where we are going. We are a young nation. We have a dynamic message. We have revelation that is alive. We have the example of the greatest of the prophets to guide us in all affairs. But it means that we would have to live up to this message. We have to reanalyze our understanding of Islam and our understanding of ourselves as Muslims. Remember, Tawheed, inclusion. We have to start looking at each other in a different way. Don't look at another person on their color. Don't look at them and say, brother, sister, where do you come from? What language do you speak? Which tribe are you? Which nation are you? What kind of car do you drive? Some young people, what cell phone you have? Some foolish Muslims will even ask you, which astrological sign are you? None of these man-made confusions. We need to look at each other for the taqwa, Ahlul Qibla, of the Ahlul Sunnah wa Jama'ah. We are the Jama'ah, the largest group to the day of resurrection. And one of the companions, Jarir ibn Abdullah radiallahu an, when they asked him about his relationship with the Prophet, peace be upon him, he said, Bayatu Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ala iqam as-salat wa ita'iz zakat wa nush li kulli Muslim. He said, I have taken the pledge to the Prophet, peace be upon him, to establish prayer, establish the giving of charity, zakat, and to give sincerity and advice and support to every Muslim. Li kulli Muslim. He didn't say Muslim Arabi,